Welcome to the ChannelX Leaders Interviews, and delighted to be joined by Kevin Turner today at BuytoGive. Kevin, welcome. We've known each other a long time, but always good to see you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Good to see you too, Chris.
Well, let's just jump straight in. BuytoGive is a relatively new marketplace. And I've got to say, most marketplaces I've seen launch over the 20 years I've been writing about them struggle with the classic chicken and egg problem of attracting products or sellers, maybe, and attracting customers. And it's kind of, you don't get the sellers until you've got the customers, and you don't get the customers when you've got nothing to sell. So just tell us, first of all, what is BuytoGive? And then how did you approach solving this challenge?
Okay, well, BuytoGive is a marketplace, but it's also quite unique, Chris, because what it does is we donate up to 35% of the fees that we charge our vendors directly to a charity or good cause of the buyer's choice. And each charity that registers with us gets their own store, so their own unique URL. So they're partly responsible for promoting it, because the more they promote their own store, then obviously the more sales they'll get, so the more donations they'll get. Very quick example, we had a cute dog charity where the dogs can't walk anymore and they put wheels on them. We did something with them to raise £500 within the month, because they were talking to their supporters and saying, come and help and work with us. So we were really at a trial basis then. We've launched, we've got software, we know the software works well. And you're right, there's the chicken and egg thing is, how do you get that many products on board, and how would you get the audience? So I call them, the audience, the customers, the audience. Well, we knew we'd get an audience through the charities, and we've also been very lucky that we get a lot of PR, because of what we're doing is very different. So this space has been in the Sun newspaper. I'm hoping to get a bit higher up in my, and that's why I'm talking to you now. But from that point of view, we've been in quite a lot of national press. We've had a reasonable amount of marketing, but mainly it's been the charities and a few celebrities that have been talking about us as well, getting involved. But the hardest thing, obviously, was getting hold of the products in the first instance. So, and I think that's where we met not so long ago at the Limworks Academy. And we were, myself and Tom, my e-coms director, placed ourselves there quite strategically and signed up quite a few good guys, got a lot of products on board, tested it, proved it, and then we needed to go out and get more products.
So I think this is really important for people listening to this, is you go onto a new marketplace and they've never got the customers. That is probably the hardest bit. If you've got the customers, the sales will sign up. But I think if you just think of large charities, many of them have thousands on their mailing list, some tens of thousands, some hundreds of thousands. Some of them have even got millions on their mailing list. And if you're selling with a donation going to the charity, which comes out of BuytoGive's profit, the charity is going to be promoting your product to potentially a mailing list of, I don't know, 1.2 million, 3 million, 4 million consumers.
It climbs up and up. We've started off with 165 charities to really pressurize. Now we want to go up to 1,000 charities by the end of this year, which we know from talking to them that we'll do it. We'll get the larger charities coming on board now. and you're right, the audience grows each time you get a charity. But it can even be down to a little school, a little football club where you've got, say, 5 to 6 age group years, and then you've got dads and grandma and auntie and everything like that. That works. That, even though it's a smaller amount, it probably pays for the kit at the end of the year. So it is that. And I suppose if you were just a normal marketplace trying to get out there, well, you've got affiliate channels, which we use, but the cost of it would be horrendous trying to get your brand out there. And that's where we win, because we're bringing a customer base to our vendors that want to give back, and they're prepared to pay that and go through BuytoGive, because at the end of the day, they can buy it on Amazon or they buy it to BuytoGive. But if they know something's going to their chosen cause and they help buy a wheel for a dog that can't walk anymore, they're going to do it. And it's been proved. We've made it work, and it does work. And now we're on build, repeat, build, repeat, build, repeat. So coming back to your question, how did we then beat the chicken and egg? I met Lisa from WorldFirst, and as you know, they've got 20,000 UK vendors, and we've done a lot of work with them. We've been talking to them. They very much like the charity angle, and I think they like the aspect of being involved with a marketplace that's uniquely placed to help others, and it does a lot for their brand. And we will, once we're integrated with them fully, they'll be introducing all their vendors over to us so they can do the payment through us and everything like that. And we are being heavily promoted. The contract signed, it's just going through the integration now. And that's when you get relationships working like that, that's when you know you're going to be a success.
Yeah.
The other one,
and I know with corporate governance, they're all over what are we doing good in the world, whether it be on the sustainability side or on the supporting charity side. Companies love to be involved with this, and they actually report on it nowadays, so it's really important. But I think more than anything, it's just a good thing for businesses to do, to partner with someone like yourself.
It is, and that's really strange when you mention that, because we ended up, and I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but one of the UK's largest distributors for a lot of the major brands. And we're currently just closing on our integration of 1.2 million branded products.
Yeah, I'd heard a whisper of that, and I was going to ask you how the relationship came about. How important is that kind of scale of product supply to the future of the platform? Because I mean, 1.2 million products sounds like a lot, but in the scale of an eBay or Amazon, it's still not a lot, but it's a good chunk to get started with.
Well, it's the quality of the products, because we could have gone to China and got 10 million products on if we wanted to.
Gotcha, yes. So these are quality branded products.
This is Adidas, this is Nike, this is all your top brands in the UK. And it's sold in the UK, and it's next day or the day after delivery. There's 3 warehouses full of products ready to go. How did we get the relationship? I'll be very honest, I'm a very cheeky bugger and I'm old school, and I door knock. I'm not afraid of door knocking. I think Tom, the e-commerce director, was quite shocked with me when we were in London. I took him to the Tower of London offices of WorldFirst and door knocked before they knew I was in reception. And I was pitching, and that's sometimes you just go old school and just do it. But when you get the message across of what you're wanting to do, these guys immediately, this big distributor, just said, "This is right. This is right for the brands." They spoke to a few brands, and the brand just said, "This is perfect for us because it seems that we're giving back and we're being part of this community which we're building." If you talk to anybody in marketing these days, which I'm sure you do on a regular basis, it's all about community. We're building a community of vendors, and we're building a community of shoppers. And needless to say, some of the brands are giving us extra special deals that we can go and help out. Get deals that are better than you'll get elsewhere online. And that gives us a really competitive advantage as well.
So BuytoGive's kind of built around the idea that everyday shopping can generate donations to charity, which I love. And I kind of think that there's 3 buckets of people that should be interested in this. Number one, the charities, because they could always do with more money. And this is kind of a very simple way for them to raise more money. And then there's the shoppers, the people that are, I've got cats. I'm going to buy cat food every month, regardless whether I buy it from you in a charity donation or Amazon or eBay or the local pet shop. I might as well buy it from you. And support my favorite charity. But I think for the ChannelX audience, the people that are going to be most interested are the brands who, frankly, are looking for sales. The economic situation in the country, in fact, in the world, is not that great at the moment. And they're looking for their share of the buyer's spend. So how's the model helping to attract brands? And you've already mentioned brands are actually giving you discounts, so you kind of answered this in a little bit.
Well, to be fair, I think we're very fair on our pricing. We charge 11%. I mean, while I was building this business, I think you'll remember that I was trading and doing everything I could to keep money coming into feed myself. So forget the kids; it was just me that was eating, it was all about going out there and learning the trade more and more and more. So I was selling on Amazon, I was selling everywhere, and I was learning the trade, and I'd go as as a reasonable 20,000 products that we had, SKUs that were selling, and we had our tops and lowers and things like that. And I would look at the different marketplaces and I'd assess them on various different things. First of all, what are you going to charge? We charge 11%, plus we charge the card fee, which is 2% and 20p, something like that. And then I want to know, how are you going to sell my products? Well, if you're Amazon, great, you're going to sell my products, but then you're going to compete against all the other products, etc. So, and then you say, well, if you pay a bit more, we'll push you up and that sort of stuff. Those marketplaces, they've got the audience, but with us, we've got a unique audience. We've got an audience of people who, there's a phrase I use, who give and I'm not going to use it, I'll just say people who want to give back. There are so many people. There's this thing in the charity world they call donor fatigue. And that is when people are saying, I ain't got enough money. I can't keep giving to charities all the time. And truth is, they don't have to. They can support the charities by just doing everyday purchasing. And cat food's an absolutely brilliant, for us, it's just a perfect one. I buy my dog food, I buy it regularly off a marketplace. It comes through under donation, cat food, dog food, goes directly to my chosen charity. How easy is that? And how do you feel about it? Do you feel better about your purchase? Yes, you do.
Well, the cats have got to eat anyway, so why wouldn't I help my favourite charity?
Exactly.
The platform's already live and trading. I think that's important to say.
Yeah.
What have you learned so far from early sales and the charities that have joined the marketplace? And I love that story you've told me about the dog charity that supports disabled dogs, putting wheels on their back ends so they can run around. And £500 in a month for a charity like that, I'm guessing, is quite a lot of money. But then there are much bigger charities who could potentially more followers, attract more sales, and get substantially more funds through the door.
Absolutely, this is just on test base. We had about 120,000 products. For them to achieve that on 120,000 products, I mean, there's nothing worse than having a marketplace when you first launch and you've got people saying, I really like the concept, there's nothing I want to buy.
So going to 1.2 million branded products is going to help a lot. That's 10 times.
Other than the other 20,000 vendors that we're reaching, and we've got vendors talking to us all the time now because we've proved to be successful. We've proved that it works. I think if you to ask me what I learned, I would say, when you're in your very early stages, pre-launch, you're under immense pressure to launch because your investors are on your back, you're on your own back, you want to launch, you want to build a business, you're going around talking to people like yourself saying it's coming, it's coming. In all honesty, in hindsight, I would have left it for another 2 to 3 months before I launched, because the things that can go wrong will go wrong. And to me, it'd be better to pressure test it on a non-live basis than going live. And if your business can afford to do that, and it's an affordability issue, I would take that extra time to just break it and break it and break it. I was taught by an American sales guy once, if something's not broken, break it. If it's worth, break it. And that's what that's really the hindsight. And then really, just day-to-day things, maybe to test the marketing a little bit more, because when you go out there, we've now probably spent, it's not so much the money, but the time we spent on marketing and getting our messages out there, we're pretty fine-tuned now. And I think if I had the time again, I would spend more time round the table going through things and doing small pressure tests before going live and doing it. It's worth it in the end.
Well, congratulations anyway. You've got there, you're ready to go. You've done the pressure testing, albeit in a live environment as opposed to a test environment. But looking ahead, does the next phase for BuytoGive look like in terms of what I call sellers onboarding? You're probably calling it product growth, but also kind of vendor expansion and the overall scale you believe the marketplace can reach.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're growing monthly. I mean, our sales in January were higher than our sales in December, and that's quite unique because that shouldn't happen. And we're growing each month with unique visitors coming in. It's on a growth scale going like that because we're getting out there, we're talking to people are getting more curious, people are coming to the site, we're getting Ironically, we're now getting repeat customers coming in, and that's great because they feel some sort of warm feeling because they're helping their chosen charity, and that's a good thing that's happening. So growth wise, it really is dead simple. I see this business as 3 funnels. You've got your charities and whatever you put in there. You've got your products and whatever you put in there, and your marketing, etc., whatever you put in there. And more charities equals more sales. More products equals more sales. And we're on a growth. I mean, there are things that we will do in the future. There's Eat to Give. There's Finance to Give. There's all those different elements that we'll bring in the future.
Yeah, you've not mentioned them to me before. You should be telling me that. This is going to be published.
Yeah. It's quite a simple concept. We're going to take a Groupon-esque attitude towards it. We've now got the opportunity to go to restaurants and sell vouchers. And if you can imagine, you've got 5 local charities in a town, all pushing one month a week in the local restaurant. Sorry, one meal a month in the local restaurant, which is a special deal. Charities do really well out of it, and we'll do really well. Times it by 4,000. We're just on a very, very quick growth, because when we expand on that, that's just that in its own right. It's a crazy amount of business coming in. But my short term over the next year is to build a product base, make sure that we're working with the products that are selling, and then working more with the brands so that we can develop that relationship. So when we know a brand's working, we can also feed back to the brand, so the brand gets that feeling of the support that they're giving to the charities and the good causes. It's an unusual commercial model, but it works.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, I can't wait for Eat to Give to come out, because I have to tell you, I eat every day, several times a day. So
I'll give you a free voucher, Chris.
Yeah. Being able to eat to give to my favourite charity, that just sounds like music to my ears. But I think for the product side, I think there's two groups of people this is an important message for today. One is the charities. If you want to raise more funds, then get on to BuytoGive and register, because you can simply just send out a newsletter to your readers or the subscribers that you're probably going to send out anyway, and just let them know, if you're buying these products, come to our shop on BuytoGive, and you'll be donating to us and paying the same price you would anyway. And I think the second group is the sellers, the people with product. If you're looking for an exciting opportunity, a new venue to expand your reach to customers and engage customers that are going to want to buy from you because they know it's supporting their favourite charity, then again, BuytoGive's the place to go. So, Kevin, I want to thank you so much for your time today, but it all seems like a bit of a no-brainer.
Well, just very quickly before we do close, I just want to say that we actually do a lot of the work for the charity. So we give them content to put on the social media, so we save them a lot of time as well. And also the other thing for the vendors, which is a massive win, is direct relationships with those charity shops.
Yeah.
So if we've got a dog food, or we've got a dog distributor, or a product distributor, we can put them with all our pet charities and things like that, and they want those relationships working. So that's a massive bonus for the vendors.
So real community spirit on the site, as well as a real business opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And just come and talk to us. It doesn't cost anything to come on board. The only time you will actually pay anything is when you make a sale.
And a percentage of that sale will go to the charity. It's just fantastic. Kevin, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thanks, Chris. It's been great talking to you again. Thank you.